Good evening. This is my presentation on dispute analysis on the movie The Insult. Doing a quick overview of the main characters and the nature of the dispute. We have Tony, the protagonist, young, volatile. Events in his childhood seems to have twisted his mind and is living in a heightened sense state of fear and anger. His frame in this dispute is confrontational, and it doesn't take much to trigger or push Tony. Yasser, on the other hand, is the older, stoic, more reserved party. He has had his share of suffering similar to Tony, but carries it with a lot more dignity. Now, the dispute, Tony, overly protective, rails against Yasser, who was doing something unsanctioned. But frustrated by Tony, Yasser swears at Tony, causing the offense, and so begins the dispute. Tony is initially interested in protecting his family. He's right in not wanting anyone near his property without his permission. He also is in the right to destroy or remove the work that has been carried out without his permission. He appears to have all the power, and because of this, he is clearly escalating the dispute at every step. So up to the point of severely insulting Yasser when he comes to make an apology for insulting Tony. This leads to a court case and then another court case after that. Now, Yasser's interest is in looking after his work crew because he was a supervisor, and also setting a good example and doing the best he can for his employer. He is in the wrong in this case. He should have simply just walked away when he discovered that his presence wasn't required or wanted. He's clearly in a less powerful position than Tony because he is an employee. He has to satisfy the requirements of his employer. He's also a refugee, and he's vulnerable in that way as well, living in a foreign country. Tony triggered a deep emotional response, which made Yasser lose control and act violently. Now, the dispute escalated because of Tony's sort of state of mind and his frame. Yasser to Tony was a representative of the people that carried out those horrific things in his childhood. And therefore, Tony was not interested in any kind of reconciliation. He basically wanted to get or win against Yasser. When Yasser came to apologize, Tony was insensitive. It was almost like he was deliberately trying to trigger Yasser, and Yasser eventually lost control and assaulted Tony. This led to a second court case, and then a court case after that. But the fallout from all of this was that Tony suffered significantly more than Yasser. His wife miscarried, nearly lost his child. His name was vilified, and he received death threats from the public. Both men realized at the end that they have similar backgrounds with similar types of trauma and suffering. Neither of them are at fault, and they appear to have forgiven each other. And the court case goes against Tony. The court finds Yasser not guilty. So, what could have been done in this case without leading to all that suffering and chaos? So, in hindsight, this situation did not have to be so destructive. A proper approach to mediation could have achieved the same outcome at the end. So, any strategy employed that did not address Tony's mindset would have been doomed to fail. His early life trauma shaped his entire view of the world, especially of Muslims and Palestinians, and he was on the offensive as soon as he detected that Yasser was one of the bad guys according to his experiences. So this limited the options available for resolution and eliminated quite a lot of possibility for finding common ground or even empathy for the other party. So this was a zero-sum win or lose situation for Tony. Yasser, on the other hand, appeared to be more reasonable, and he was willing to resolve, apologize, even though he felt that was unreasonable. In conclusion, while Yasser and Yasser's employers' actions was commendable in trying to apologize and find a resolution to the dispute, a trained mediator would have had a far better chance of succeeding. A mediator would have spoken to each party, identifying the issues. Tony's hostile mind frame or process frame would have been identified, and he would not have had the opportunity to escalate things with Yasser. The mediator would have taken steps to ensure that. The media could have negotiated an apology, a written apology for Tony, without Yasser ever having to be come into contact with Tony and be triggered. Or the mediator would have had the opportunity to address Yasser's mindset and perhaps find ways to help him move past that point. This approach would have certainly avoided a court case and all issues that eventuated from this. Thank you very much.